Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to our second PU Computer Science online classes. In last class, we completed the types of pointer, initialization, or we can say as the assignment of pointer variable, and also by using the operation or one simple example for our address of operator and also indirection, that is called as the pointer operator. Now the next concept is about our pointer arithmetic. Okay, so the pointer arithmetic here, so we can say that, but because we already know that the meaning of the pointer, a pointer is a variable that holds memory address of another variable. So we can say that in simple meaning, a pointer is an address. Clear this point? It is an address which is a numeric value. That means it is a numeric, it is a number, or simple we can say as the address of a variable is also an unsigned integer number. It also an the unsigned integer number which is a numeric value. Therefore, you can perform some arithmetic operations by using the pointer here or on a pointer just like a numeric value. So in pointer, the four operators are going to use, or we can use on pointer. The operators are, so the first operator is our decrement operator. The second operator is the increment operator, that is right as the plus, and the third operator is the plus operator, and the fourth one is called as the dot operators. So we can say that there are four arithmetic operators are there, and such operators we can used, or we can used on the pointers here, or that can be used on the pointers. The operators are, one is the decrement operator, going to write as minus, increment operator plus, and third operator is the plus, and fourth one is the dot operators. So now let's see some of the valid operation we can perform on pointer, and some of the invalid operation we cannot perform on the pointers here. So some of the first thing about the following operation can be performed on the pointers. That means all these operations are the valid operation, and such operation we can perform or we can use with the pointers here. So the first operation we can say that we can add an integer value to a pointer here. So how we are going to add the integer value to a pointer? Maybe one example we can write as the p is equal to p plus integer value. Clear this point here? So we can write as the p is equal to p plus integer value, and maybe any value we can use, that is the p value, maybe the plus, we already assigned some value to the p, maybe just only I am going to write the p. Why? Because we already assigned maybe any value to the p plus integer value, that is equal to p. So this is the first note about our first operation of the pointer. We can add, that means here we can add an integer value to a pointer here, or instead of this one we can use like that also. That means pointer p is equal to pointer p plus integer value, that is equal to our p plus 10 only, p plus integer value only here. So this is about our first operation. If you are assigning some value to p, that is 10, and integer value also 10, that means our p or the pointer p, that is held by 20 only. So the first operation we can add an integer value to a pointer here, and the second operation we can say that we can subtract an integer value from a pointer here. That means whatever we added, it also possible to subtract this value just by using the operator, just by changing the operator. The operator is the minus operator. It going to use as the minus operator. So the second operation also we can perform on pointer. It is a valid operation of the pointers here. The valid operation, we can subtract an integer value from a pointer. So one example we can write as the P is equal to P minus integer value, otherwise pointer P is equal to pointer P minus integer value. It going to subtract. Such operation also performed by using pointer here. And the third operation we can say that we can compare two pointers. That means we can compare, maybe pointer P is equal to pointer P2, and just only we already added some value pointer P1 10 and pointer P2 10. That means it going to make the comparison, correct no here? Why? Because the answer is S here. Or maybe pointer P is equal to 10, pointer P2 is equal to 20. That means it not make possible to make the comparison in this case here. Maybe in case if you want to get the answer yes or no, you will get any one answer here. But when it possible to compare two pointers here, that means I already said it's a valid operation. We can compare two pointer, but when it possible, if both the pointer are belong to the same type of array, that means such pointer P1 also need to declare by using int, and pointer P2 also need to declare by using int data type only, or maybe both are should declare by using the same data type, then only it possible to make the comparison. Clear this point here? The third valid operation, we can compare two pointers, but when it possible to compare two pointers, if they point the element of the same array, if they belong the element of the same array here. And later next one, the fourth operation, we can subtract the one pointer from another pointer. That means we can subtract we can make the subtraction, that is from one pointer from another pointer, but when it possible to make the subtraction, that is from one pointer to the another pointer here, when or both are belong to the same type of array here, or if both belong to the same type of array, then only we can subtract the one pointer from another pointer here. And later the last valid operation, we can say that we can assign the one pointer value to another pointer. Whatever the value is there in pointer P1, such value I want to assign to the pointer P2, I can assign the value from one pointer to another pointer here, but when both are provided the element of the same type of array. Clear this point here? So that means both need to declare by using the same data type. So all these operations are called as the valid operation of the pointers. So the first valid operation, we can add an integer value to a pointer. Second, we can subtract an integer value from a pointer. Third one, we can compare two pointers, but when it possible to compare two pointers, when they belong the element of the same type of array here. And the fourth one, we can say that we can subtract the one pointer value from another pointer here, also if they belong to the same type of array here. And the last thing we can say that about we can assign the one pointer value to another pointer here, but when provided both are of the or belong to the same type of array. But also all these operations we can perform, all are called as the valid operation, but we can say that some invalid operations are there. Such operation we cannot perform on pointers. So the following are the operation we cannot be performed on pointer. So the first operation, we can say that the addition of two pointers. Clear this point here? The addition of two pointers. But what about the addition of two pointers? That means when both pointer are not belong to the same type of array. Clear this point here? We can, that means the addition of two pointer we can, but here we can say that if both are belong to the different type of array, we can't make the addition here. So that means such pointers should be declared by using the same data type here. So the invalid invalid operation, the addition of 2 pointers when it not possible, when both pointer are not belong to the same type of array. And the second thing we can say that the subtraction of one pointer from another pointer if both are not belong to the if both not point to the same type of array also not possible. And the multiplication of 2 pointers, when the multiplication of 2 pointers when they are not belong to the same type of array. And also last one, the division of 2 pointers not belong to the or not point to the element of the same type of array here. So this is some of the information about our valid operations and some of the invalid operations here. But also some important to note, we need to remember in our pointer arithmetic operations. So we can say that suppose if you are declaring one pointer variable, so maybe this such a pointer variable is integer, clear this point here, integer and pointer p. So in this case we can say that I declared one pointer variable, the name of the pointer variable is the p, and added the data type or declared by the data type int here. So if p is an integer variable, that means the p is incremented by 2 bytes. Why? Because we know that the size of the int is the 2 byte. Clear this point here. So we can say that if p is an integer variable, if you are declaring by using the data type int, that means it is an integer variable, then here the p is incremented, or we can say that if you want to make the incremented, the p plus plus will be incremented p by 2 byte, depend on the data type here. Or maybe the second example we can say as the char pointer p, whether it is equal int pointer p and char pointer p, whether it is equal. No. Why? Because the first one I declared by using the data type int, and second one I declared by using the data type char here. And if you are going to declare any variable by using the data type character variable, then p plus plus will be incremented p by 1 byte. Clear this point here. And maybe if you are going to declare float, that means it's going to increase, the p plus plus will be incremented by the 4 byte. Clear this point here, 4 byte. And finally the meaning of the plus plus and the meaning of the minus minus. So what about the plus plus? That means it's going to make the incremented by 1, minus minus means it's going to make the decremented by 1 here. So all those note we need to remember while going to perform the operation. The operation is the pointer arithmetic. Why? Because here some of the valid operations are there and some of the invalid operations are there, and I already discussed here some of the important note about the declaration of the data type by using int and also the data type by using the char here. And finally I said about some of the meaning of plus plus and the minus minus. Plus plus is the incremented by 1, minus minus means decremented by 1 here. Now let's see the next very important topic, that is about our pointers and arrays here. Now our next topic is the pointers and arrays. So we can say that there is a very close relationship between the pointers and arrays in our C++. That means there is some relationship, there is some communication, or it going to establish some relationship between our pointers and the arrays in this case here. So such a relationship I want to declare by using some of the declaration. So here I am using the declaration int a of 5. Clear this point here. Why? Because it is a array, and in this program I want to tell about the array as well as the pointers. That means by using the pointer concept, it also possible to use the array also. That means there is a very close relationship between our arrays and pointers here. So first of all I want to use some of the declaration. So I used the declaration int a of 5. We know that this is the example of the declaration, and we know that the position value going to start by using the value 0. So the element of the array can be referred to in the program as a of 0, a of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. Why? Because the A of 5 is that, and it's going to start the position value by using 0. So that means we know that here it's going to reach till A of 4 here. Correct no here? So we can say that means this is the declaration, or this is the structure of the array in this case. And when program is compiled, that means here I want to access some of the element from the program, and where the element going to use here, the element going to use, see in this block here, some of the element going to use, I want to access the element to 10, or maybe I want to access the element to 20. How I am going to access all these element? So we can say that when program is compiled, the compiler does not save the addresses of all the element of the array. Whether our compiler saving all those address A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, no, our compiler does not save the addresses of all the element of the array, but only the address of the first element of the array. The element of the address of the first element of the array is the A of 0. Clear this point here? That means maybe when you want to access all those element of the array, our compiler not going to save the address of everything. That means 1, 2, 3, 4 not going to save here. Just our compiler going to save the address of the first element of the array here. So the address of the first element of the array is the A of 0 here. Clear this point here? Maybe you are telling about this one. Maybe here I want to access the element 20. Then how I am going to access the element 20 in this case? Correct now here? So we can say that when program need to access any other element, maybe the 20, maybe the 30, or maybe the 40, or maybe our 50, any value here. So when program need to access any other element, then it going to access by using A of I. Clear this point here? It going to access by using A of I. Why? Because here we can say that it calculate its address by adding I unit to the address of A of 0. Clear this point here? So about this line I will tell in the program. It will be clear when I am going to complete the program. Whatever I said about these two, A of I and A of 0, it will be going to clear when I am going to complete this program. But also I want to tell about this one. See here, when maybe why? Because I already said the compiler saving just only the address of the first element of the array here, or maybe our program want to access any other element here. Then how it going to access? That means when program accessing any other element here, it going to access, or it using the A of I here. So that means it calculate its address by adding I unit to the address A of 0. Correct? Now in this case here, whatever the I value going to increase, it going to access all such element value here. It going to access in this case here. So clear this point here. Or finally we can say that here how we are going to measuring the number of the bytes. So in this program, or we can say that the number of byte in each unit in our program, or in this program, is equal to the size of int. Correct? No here? Is equal to the size of int. Why? Because the size of the int we know that it's the 2 byte. So in general we can say that it is equal to the number of bytes required to store an element of the array here. So how we are going to measure how many byte we need in this program here? It depend on the declaration, and also it depend on the data type int here. So in this program the number of byte we are going to measure, that is equal to the size of int, and we know that the size of int is the 2 byte. So simply we can say that it is equal to the number of byte required to store an element of the array here. And the address of A of 0. Clear this point here? The address of A of 0 here. So it is not called as the address of A of 0. So we can say that such address of A of 0 can be explicitly obtained using the operator. Operator is the ampersand A of 0. Now it is called as the address of A of 0. Clear this point here? If you are using, it is just called as the A of 0 here, and maybe in case you want to write as the address of A of 0 means we need to write as the ampersand A of 0. So in this example or in this concept of finally I want to tell about the address of A of 0 can be explicitly means openly. Why? Because I used openly here, correct? No, in this case here can be explicitly obtained by using the address of operator, that is write as the or written as the ampersand A of 0. Okay. Now later next one, why? Because here I already said such note I want to tell in program here. So let's see one example here. I want to write, or we can say that such program showing the relationship between pointer and arrays here. The relationship between pointer and arrays. So hash include iostream.h, hash include conio.h here, and later next one some of the header file we are going to write, or maybe the last header file is the iomanip.h, and later the main program going to start by using the wide main, and such one going to write by using this small letter and no any semicolon after the open close, and later opening of the flower bracket, that means the program going to start here, and here we need some of the declaration. What are the variables we need to use in the program? Such variable declaration we are going to declare before going to use such variable in the program. So some of the variable I am using in this program are A of 10, I, n and semicolon, and such one going to declare by using the data type int. Clear this part? And CLR SCR, for CLR SCR we already written the header file. The header file is the conio.h, correct here? So the conio.h here. Now one message I want to declare. The first message is the see out how many elements. Why? Because it is the array concept. It going to display the value here, and here just in this program we are going to show the relationship between arrays and pointers here. So the first message, how many elements? So sin n, that means console input going to access the value. It depend on the number of the elements, how many element you want to access in this program, or how many element you want to declare in this program here. So it going to import all such a declaration. Clear this point here? And later next one, the second message going to use see out, enter the array elements. So what are the element? Maybe the number of element is 5 here. Why? Because I already declared the number of the element is the 5. That means the 5 elements we need to write after the message, and later enter the array elements. It going to access the element one after the another, depend on the 0 position value. First of all it accessing the 0 position value. So for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and sin pointer a plus I. Otherwise maybe it's a simple array program, then how you are going to write? You are going to write, maybe it's a simple array program means after such message and after this line. So first of all see out, enter the array elements, and for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. After that you are going to write as the sin a of I. Clear? So where we are going to write such a sin a of I? Just only if it is a array program, but it is a pointer to array program, and we know that the pointer means which symbol going to use? The pointer symbol is the star symbol. So it going to access by using sin pointer a plus I. Clear this point here? So we can say that means the program need to access if any other element, or maybe many other element in this case, how it going to access? By using our a of I. Clear this point here? That means it calculate it address by adding I unit to the address, A of 0, clear this point. So A of 0 plus I here. So it calculate it address by adding I unit to the address of A of 0. So in this way it going to access all these elements one after the another. Now whatever the elements are there, maybe the elements 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 we need to enter. It depend on the position value it going to access. Maybe for first element just only it going to access I plus plus is there. That means when I value going to make the increment, that is I is equal to 1, it going to access the value 20. Clear this point here. So like that how many elements are there, depend on the satisfaction of the condition it going to access all these values here. And later next one, after accessing all these values, finally the given array elements are the any message we can write, and again we need to write the looping condition for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and set W4. Why? Because for the set W4 I already written the header file IO many dot h. For end line and set W we need to use the header file IO many dot h. So it going to leave some of the space after each number. So set W4 and pointer A plus I. Clear this point here. Otherwise how we are writing, just only in last, after that instead of this one, if it is an array program, then just only after C out set W4 we are going to write as the A of I, but it is not a array program, it is a pointer and array program. So we need to use the pointer A plus I. Clear this point here, pointer A plus I, and gets here and closing of the flower bracket. So it going to display after completing the program, it going to execute the program as the how many elements you need to write as the 5, correct? No? And later next one, again one more message, enter the array elements. On that time we are going to enter the value 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Why? Because the position value going to start from the 0, so going to reach till the A of 4. And later next one, the given array elements, again it going to display whatever the value we enter, such value again going to display. The values are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It going to access the value. So this is the meaning of the array and pointers. Why? Because here I used the pointer symbol. Clear this point here about the array and pointers. Thank you.